Have you ever finished a full, seemingly healthy meal? But instead of feeling nourished, you feel tired, sluggish, foggy in the head, or strangely empty inside? You're not the only one. In fact, it's more common than you think. We live in a world that focuses on calories, macros, and labels, but often ignores the one thing that matters most: the energy your food carries. Because food is not just fuel, it's frequency. It is vibration, intention, and life force, or the lack of it. What if some of the food you eat isn't just lacking nutrients, it's actively lowering your vibration? What if it's quietly draining your mental clarity, emotional balance, and spiritual connection, without you even realizing it? This isn't about eating clean or following strict rules. This is about understanding energy and how certain foods can either support your healing or slowly disconnect you from your natural vitality. In this video, you'll discover what low vibration foods really are, how they affect your mood, energy, and nervous system, why your fatigue may not come from overwork, but from what you consume, and how to choose foods that nourish not just the body, but also the soul. Because when you start to eat with awareness, when you begin to feel the energy of what enters your body, everything changes. This is not a diet. It's a shift in perception, a return to intuition, and perhaps a quiet revolution in how you heal. Welcome to Satori Nest, space where nourishment meets consciousness, and where every meal becomes a step closer to your true self. What are low vibration foods? When we talk about food, we often focus on the physical: calories, carbs, protein, fats. We're taught to count nutrients, track macros, and read labels. There's something else food carries, something we're rarely told to pay attention to: energy. Every living thing vibrates. This isn't a spiritual metaphor, it's physics. According to quantum theory, all matter is made of energy, and that energy is always in motion. This means the food you eat isn't just made of molecules, it's made of vibration. Now imagine the difference between a sun-ripened tomato picked fresh from the earth and a frozen pizza that sat in a factory freezer for 10 months. The difference isn't just nutritional, it's energetic. The term low vibration food refers to food that has lost its natural life force, its living essence. This usually happens through overprocessing, chemical treatment, artificial preservation, and disconnection from nature. The more steps between the soil and your plate, the more energy a food tends to lose. In the 1930s, French radiesthist Simonton measured the electromagnetic frequencies of food in angstroms. He found that fresh, raw fruits and vegetables had the highest frequencies, between 6,500 to 10,000 angstroms. By contrast, meat, white sugar, canned foods, and highly processed meals measured under 3,000 angstroms, a level he considered energetically non-supportive for human vitality. Low-vibration foods often include highly processed, packaged snacks, deep-fried fast food cooked in reused oil, refined white sugar and artificial sweeteners, chemically altered or genetically modified ingredients, foods prepared in a rush without presence or care. Even the intention behind the preparation matters. Food cooked with stress, anger, or distraction may carry that energy, and you absorb it. Because food doesn't just feed the body, it feeds the whole being. You may feel full after eating these kinds of meals, but not nourished. Your stomach is satisfied, but your energy crashes. You feel heavy, mentally foggy, emotionally dull. You reach for coffee or sugar to wake up, not realizing it was your food that dimmed your light in the first place. Modern studies support these experiences. A 2016 paper published in Frontiers in Psychology linked diets high in ultra-processed food to a greater risk of emotional dysregulation, fatigue, and mental health issues, regardless of body weight. In short, low-vibration food doesn't just harm your body. It disrupts your inner clarity, your emotional state, and your ability to stay present in life. It weakens your ability to connect, not just with others, but with yourself. Perhaps that's the most dangerous part, because this kind of depletion happens slowly, quietly, and you might not even realize it till you forget what vitality once felt like. How low-vibration foods affect your mind, mood, and spirit. We usually associate food with physical effects: weight gain, digestion, energy levels. But what you eat doesn't just impact your body. It can deeply affect your mental clarity, your emotional balance, and even your spiritual awareness. Low-vibration foods, processed meals, chemically altered ingredients, foods fried in reused oils, or prepared with stress, introduce more than just toxins. They introduce chaotic information into your system. This kind of food may look normal, taste good, and even be marketed as healthy. But energetically, it is disorienting to the body. When your system is flooded with this type of disorder, your nervous system begins to respond. Instead of entering states of rest, focus, or inner stillness, it stays in low-grade agitation. You feel slightly anxious for no reason. You become forgetful, impatient, tired, but wired. And worst of all, you lose the subtle sense of connection to yourself. A 2022 study published in Public Health Nutrition found that high consumption of ultra-processed foods significantly increased symptoms of depression and emotional instability even in individuals who exercised regularly and appeared physically healthy. The mind, it turns out, isn't just fed by thoughts. It's fed by what you put on your plate. Think back to the last time you had a heavy, greasy, or artificial meal. Did you feel alive afterward? Or did your spirit shrink a little? In many ancient healing systems, including Ayurveda and traditional Taoist medicine, food is classified not just by taste or ingredients, but by its pranic energy, its life force. High prana foods calm the mind, open the heart, and support spiritual clarity. Low prana foods agitate the system and cloud the perception. From a spiritual perspective, food affects your vibration, your ability to think clearly, feel deeply, and act in alignment with your higher self. When you constantly consume food that is dense, lifeless, or energetically chaotic, your intuition becomes dull. Your emotions swing without reason, and your spiritual sensitivity, your capacity to feel joy, peace, or inner guidance begins to fade. You may start to feel like you've lost yourself. But it's not that you're broken, it's that your internal signal is being blocked. And no amount of motivation, meditation, or mindset work can override a body that's being energetically drained. So if you've been feeling off, disconnected, heavy, or emotionally flat, before blaming yourself or your mind, take a gentle look at your food, because healing your mind might begin not with affirmations, but with what you eat for breakfast. Eating as a practice of spiritual alignment and energy healing. What if eating wasn't just a physical necessity, but a sacred daily ritual, an opportunity to align your body, mind, and soul with something greater. In many ancient spiritual traditions, food is viewed not only as nourishment, but as a bridge between earth and spirit. It carries not just substance, but information. Not just nutrition, but vibration. When you eat with awareness, food becomes more than fuel, becomes a medium of healing. The act of eating can be a moment of stillness, of presence, of communion, a chance to say, I honor what the earth has given. I honor what I receive. I honor how it becomes part of me. This shift begins when you stop eating out of habit, emotion, or distraction, and start eating with intention. Try this simple practice. Before your next meal, pause for a few seconds, look at your food, breathe into your heart, and ask silently, is this food supporting my highest energy? Will this raise or lower my vibration? This one moment of honesty can change everything, because once you start tuning in to the energy behind your food, you'll no longer crave what drains you. You'll begin to naturally desire what restores you. Eating high vibration food, fresh, alive, colorful, lovingly prepared, will no longer feel like a restriction. It will feel like a return, a remembering of who you really are. And the most beautiful part, you don't have to be perfect. You can bless a simple bowl of rice and turn it into sacred medicine. You can eat with gratitude and silence and transform your nervous system. You can reconnect with your body, your breath, and your inner knowing. All through the simple act of being present at the table, because healing doesn't require exotic superfoods or strict regimes. It requires intimacy with life. And food is one of the most powerful entry points we have. In the final part, we'll tie everything together. How to live, eat, and awaken with energy that supports your fullest light. Food, energy, and returning to your inner light. At the deepest level, food is not just what keeps us alive. It's what helps us remember who we are. Each bite, each meal is an invitation to come home, to slow down, to realign with the subtle wisdom that already lives within you. The truth is, you've always known how to nourish yourself. You were born with that intuition. As a child, your body told you when to stop eating, what felt good and what didn't. But somewhere along the way, through stress, culture, disconnection, we lost that clarity. We began to eat what's convenient, not what's right. To consume what fills time, not what feeds life. To ignore the whispers of our own selves, and then wonder why we feel so far from ourselves. But here's the miracle. You can return at any moment. And the path back is simple. It starts with listening to how your body feels, to how food moves through you, to whether you feel brighter or dimmer after you eat. It continues with choosing, not with guilt or pressure, but with presence. Choosing one high vibration ingredient over something lifeless. Choosing to bless your food, to eat in silence, to breathe between bites, and most of all, it ends with trust. Trust that your body is not the enemy. Trust that food can be a form of prayer. Not trust that healing doesn't come from control, but from connection. Because when you begin to eat with energy in mind, not just calories, you shift your entire vibration. Your mind becomes clearer. Your emotions stabilize. And slowly, gently, your inner light returns. So let food be your medicine, but also your meditation, your anchor, your teacher. Let it remind you that everything you need to feel whole is already within you, waiting to be reawakened, one conscious meal at a time. Welcome back to your center. Welcome back to your light. Welcome home. Thank you for joining Satori Nest. If this message resonated with you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need this healing too.